Hello, my beautiful African people. Welcome back to our weekend sports update. Today, we're going to look at the best European league for our young, upcoming African soccer players. Our young talents. We're going to look at the top 5 European league. We're going to pick one that is best for them, that will be best for them. In my own opinion, we're going to look at Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, and the French League. You often hear the sports pundit in England saying that the Premier League is the best league in the world. There is some element of truth to that, but there's something bigger behind it just being the best league in the world. So we're going to look at three things. We're going to look at the best environment to grow talents, which league is the best for that, and we're going to look at the financial aspect of what you're going to make, how you're going to get yourself rich or richer. And we're going to look at the environment, in terms of how, harsh the environment is, or kind of, we're going to look at racism. Because you know that racism in soccer in Europe has not gone away. So let's look at the environment, the best environment for the young talents, like the best league, that if you're a prospective African young players, you want to develop, have that initial development that can boost you to get to the top. I'm going to tell you the league that I believe is best suited for that, and the league that are not. Like, for instance, in a Premier League, if you are a young talent, especially if you're African, you're coming to the Premier League. Premier League doesn't develop your talent, in my own opinion. But there's money to make in Premier League, and the environment. Especially if you speak, one of the English-speaking African countries, it's gonna be suited for you because you don't have to have a language barrier, initial language barriers. But when you look at the African players that have achieved great stuff in Premier League, they have played somewhere else before they moved in. Sometimes most of them moved in as a bigger player and they made it in Premier League. But when you look at those Premier League players, or the league itself, how they are homegrown talents, especially the black ones or African ones, they're just gonna get, if you're just gonna get to being an average player. That's what the Premier League can take you to, because here in England, the talent, is kind of mechanical. When they see a young boy, just buy a football and hand over to you to play. They want you to play the game. Sometimes there might not be talent there, but they believe that they can nurture you. They can impact that talent on you. But this is not how it works sometimes, because when you look at South America, like Brazil, they just, most of them, they are born talent. Even when they are 2 years old, that they are talent in making. But in England, it's different because there's lack of talents, especially in football. So, but they love football, so they kind of try to give you that talent you might not have. So that's the main thing. If you're an African player, if you're still in your early development, I think the best league I might recommend, even though in terms of finance, you see how the rank in the finance is the best. I think two of them I will recommend. I will recommend the French league, but it's gonna be a bit of problem for you if you don't speak French. And another place I would recommend is La Liga, Spanish league. These two places, they can nurture your talent, and you can develop your talent there and move on. Especially in France, you can develop your talent in France, because in France there's not much money to make compared to other leagues in Europe. But the French football, the academy is very good in nurturing talents. They can bring up a lot. You look at their history; they have brought up a lot of talents in football, in soccer. So I believe the French league is better suited for nurturing talents, but not the best league in the world. So let's look at how the money, in each league, how the average weekly payment or yearly payment look like. Like on top of where you make the highest money in the average, according to the footstats.org, in Premier League, the average weekly salary for a soccer player is 60,000, and in La Liga is 52,000 euros. Bundesliga, you're looking at a average weekly payment of 45,000 euros, and the fourth on the list is Serie A. You are looking at making out at least 39,000 euros per week average. And the last in the list is French league. They are the poorest. They pay less money than other league. They pay 36,000 euros per week average. They pay their players, the soccer players. But when you look at those money, there's lots of money there. It's not like 36,000 euros is not a huge amount of money per week. But in England, they pay more, 60,000 average weekly payment, 60,000 pounds. And if you change the other money to pounds, it's gonna be way more lesser than 60,000 in English Premier League pays, because Premier League reach more than any other league. But I cannot say 100% that they're the best league in the world, but at least in terms of reach, they reach more because of the more people speak English than any other language in the world. And I think Premier League and La Liga, they are top. They are top. I don't know which one to choose as the best league in the world, but when you look at the quality of what we have in Spain, like Real Madrid and Barcelona, these two clubs are dominant clubs. In every competition, you cannot go for 3 years without one of them, even 2 years without one of them going for finals. You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of stuff happening in La Liga, So let's look at the environment of, where you play, the players. One problem with the La Liga is the rampant racism in the pitch. And the problem we have is when you look at Vinicius Junior, keep complaining to the authority over there about the racism he encounters almost on a daily basis playing for Real Madrid. And it seems that those people doesn't do much to solve the issue of racism. I'm not saying there's no racism in other leagues, but in the Premier League, the racism in Premier League is less because of the press. And I think the FA, I think they discipline quickly than what we see in La Liga. So in terms of how you feel, the environment in where you play, I think Premier League, you're gonna feel less racism. I think there is in Serie A as well, in Italian league. I think there is a bit of racism there, more racism than Premier League. So in all this stuff, so if you are going to those leagues, you have to know that this is what you might face, because racism is not going to go away. But it depends on how you take it. But Africans, especially those that are born in Africa, it's not like racism is good, but sometimes we observe it more than those Africans that are born abroad. But we have to condemn racism in every angle. So the best, it depends on what you are looking for. If you are looking to develop to a superstar, they'll come to Premier League immediately. Go somewhere like France, French League, or Syria, or La Liga, or Bundesliga as well. I think you develop more as well there because of the way those that manage the clubs there, they are so technical. They can nurture the young talents. But in Premier League, you see most of these homegrown players in Premier League, they're just an average player. Look at somebody like, he's not an African, but I'm just using him as an example. Look at somebody like Rashford that plays for Man United. At a point, you think he's going to be like top 10 players in the world. But he's just an average player, his talent didn't go up. Maybe because of the too much money in Premier League. Especially, when they start seeing this money, they start getting tattoos on their body. And they distract them from playing good football or training harder. Or maybe they never have this talent before. It's just kind of mechanical, they put it together like a mechanical pass and tell them, go and play, This position, stay here, shoot, this and that. Maybe the talent wasn't there before. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and comment and like our video. It helps us reach more people. Thank you for watching. Peace.